I don't try to bully anybody or do anything like that. But if you're gonna fuck with me, I'm going the whole route. That was my reputation in prison. But when courteous to people and you're not really trying to bother them, I remember one time there was a priest in there who told me about some stuff that priests do. And I said, listen, get away from me. And he started arguing with me. And I slapped him. And the guy grabbed me. My lawyer came in, found out about it. He said, Sammy, are you crazy? I said, why? He said, you're going to hit a priest. It's going to come out in the paper. They're going to think you're completely out of your mind. I said, bro, this guy's a stone degenerate. I don't care if he's a priest. He's a stone degenerate. He's talking bullshit to me. And I told him to get away from me, and he wouldn't. So there's all kinds of stories in prison and shit, I mean, there's all kinds of weirdos. And there's a lot of good guys in there, too. So I try to play cards or play balls. They could be dangerous guys, but they were normal. You could talk to them, you could play cards with them, you could joke, you could laugh. But some guys you just can't. They're just, and not that they belong but they belong in prison, I think. They're just bent. So that was my thing in all those years. But I made it through. I didn't think I would because I do have a little bit of a temper and I'm ready to go. So I figured sooner or later I'm going to get, jammed up. Especially when I got a reputation like that. Guys, if they were going to have a fight with me, they're going to try to hurt me because they think I'm going to come back. But it worked the opposite. They said, this guy ain't a bad guy. We could play cards with him. We could do whatever. And it was always me and the guys, really the rough guys, who were against the system more than each other. Sometimes the system makes you tighter because we're going through the same thing. Me and you are in an area. We're eating that same shit food and the same conditions. And before you know it, we're getting tight, even if we didn't even know each other. So that's what happened with me. I filled in with people like that, and I did my time, minded my business.
How's your family? How did they, like now? Not back then. I know they probably went through hell. You in America. They weren't in America at that time when you got arrested, did they?
They came out and visited me. Flew 5,000 miles every year. I was blessed to have such good family. And, when you first see your mom, she's been stood outside trying to get into Towers jail for hours. She's talking to all the Mexican families and they're telling her, all the sad stories, what they're going through. And her heart was just breaking hearing these stories. And then you're trying to get in, you got these redneck guards yelling at you, and they got the sniffer dogs and they're patting everybody down. And then you see your mom first time. My biggest fear was they were going to find out about what I've been doing, my parents. You get called to visitation and your mom's just crumpled up over a visitation table and she looks like she's aged 10 years because of your fucked up behavior, causing all this stress on her. It just broke my heart, man, to see my mom, to put my mom in that position. It's and I still feel sick to my stomach to this day because they did have my back. I planned it that if I got arrested, my mates would have money. I flew people over from the UK, put money in their names. They would use that. I wouldn't have to fall back on my parents. The cops the Department of Justice put a virus in my computer, NetBus Trojan Horse, which showed them all the money. So they seized that as soon as I was arrested. So when I had to make that call and tell my family, what I'd done, and I needed a lawyer because those New Mexican mafia guys, they told me, they schooled me in etiquette, and they said, look, Shaun, if the shit ever really hits the fan, get Alan Simpson. He's a loophole lawyer, but he's expensive. He's 50 grand down. And my parents, they had to remortgage their house because I'm not from a wealthy family. And they had business plans, and they were getting in retirement, and they were going to open a business, a walking business, and all that was sacrificed so they could get a lawyer, because if they hadn't, facing 200 years, there's quite a chance I'd still be in prison right now, because I learned in America you get what justice you can afford. So yeah, to answer your question, I just feel so lucky and so blessed. I saw people repeatedly getting involved in drugs, and the families would just disown them. And my sister, she came to see me as well. She had to have counselling. My mum had a nervous breakdown over the whole situation, and sadly, my sister, she had a daughter who was born with leukemia at age 1. She had chemotherapy, which saved her life. But now, over 10 years later, her kid's having hundreds of seizures every week. My sister's up every night watching her. They've got to have medical people coming over once or twice a week so my sister can sleep. So yeah, she's going through a lot, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we're doing. Yeah,
It's hard on the families, Shaun, but hearing you talk, they're lucky to have you for a son. Because there's a lot of guys who go into
thank you.
prison, put their families through that, and they don't give a.
And it comes through
You
on,
too
Yeah,
care, and they're lucky to have you. You're a good man.
and it comes through on the
thank
documentary.
you.
I mean, you're definitely lucky. A lot of people, a lot of families fall apart after things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, the documentary, your mother and father, and just to see that dynamic of you guys talking and what they went through. Because people don't realize when you get in trouble and you commit crimes and you go to prison, you don't just hurt yourself, you hurt everyone around you
Yep.
and you destroy
Yep.
everything around you. It's
But
like a wrecking ball.
but they're lucky to have you, that you really care about what you did, and that's part of it. It's good for them and it's good for you, and it's good for me to hear that because you're a good man. Period. I know you don't have to go further, and or anybody else hearing it, they're going to see it, they'll know it, and that's what fucking prison is. That's what it does. Not only to a tough guy, to anybody, and to their families and everybody else. So I hope that listening to this conversation, part of the conversation, I hope it helps a lot of people to understand what prison's about. It's not just you sitting in a fucking prison cell. It's about people who are waiting and choking to death, listening to the shit that you're going through. So my hat's off to you, bro.
Appreciate that. And there's one more thing then to go over them if you guys have got to go. Something that did stress my family out was as I was rising up the ranks on YouTube, I helped a few guys out and these guys turned against me and they basically
Yep.
said I'd made up the whole Sammy the Bull story. They tricked you into a live stream. I think they asked you some questions, misleading questions, into saying, yeah, I don't know this Atwood guy. He's full of shit. I've never met him. Blah, blah, blah.
Do I know Shaun Atwood? Now that came up a couple of times. He's in England. He has some sort of a talk show, and he keeps bullshitting that he met me in Arizona. He was in the ecstasy business, and we bunked heads. If we would have bunked heads, I would be picking his teeth, picking my teeth, his bones out of my teeth. I never knew him. I never met him. He's full of shit. And I sent a message to somebody I'm friendly with in England and said, why does this guy keep using my fucking name like he knows me and he's trying to make a name out of like he's a tough guy or something? I really don't have an opinion on this guy.
And they used that. They put that out in a video that went to over 1 million people. And they said I'd made up the Sammy the Bull story and I was actually a pedophile and I'd gone to prison for pedophile charges. And that people started attacking me, sending messages to my mum. My mum was having sleepless nights. Now, I don't usually address trolls and bullshit like that. I just don't want to give them any attention.
Right,
But
right.
this got so heavy, it was affecting my family members. And I'd just like to use this opportunity for you, Sammy, to clarify to the public, that message. I'll play that message when I put this out. I don't know Atwood. I'll be picking his bones out my teeth if this was true, all that stuff. Just the context. I know these guys misled and clickbaited you and tricked you into saying that. But if you could just put that into context and it will set, because to this day, people, even this week, a channel with 500,000 subs is saying he's made all this Sammy the Bull. It's still going to this day.
Yeah, well, listen, you were a gentleman the whole time. We never had that kind of a problem. I was stupid. I was goaded into saying what I said because when I heard it, I knew it wasn't true. But then I found out that you weren't saying that. So, and I apologize for listening to that crap and reacting to it. So I apologize for that. And 100%, me and him never had a problem. None of this bullshit that was said about him, about me, about our relationship, or any of those things was true. It was not true. And I apologize again and again for even paying attention to it. I should have threw it away like you did, but I didn't. I reacted to it. I don't know the guy. I'll rip his head off, whatever I said. I'll pick his bones out of my teeth. That was a reaction of, I was goaded into that reaction. I don't feel like that, obviously, towards him. I have a ton of respect for him. And all this stuff was made up about him. And as far as him being that's the furthest truth, the truth as well. I wouldn't be sitting here talking with him if there was any kind of truth to that. And I know for a fact there's no truth to that.
And I can put that into content a little bit even more. So you got to realize, I mean, even after we got out, I still to this day get messages that my father sold pills to someone, and we kept getting messages and people that we were selling pills for you, or he was literally, and we all know the truth, he wasn't, and so it was like, you know, you're selling pills for Shaun, and him saying, well, I don't even know Shaun. I never sold pills for no one in my life, and there was anger over it because the truth is he's never sold a pill in his life, and we still get that to this day of people who's our cousin, who's related to us, who we bought drug. I have people saying they bought ecstasy literally directly from him, which right now I laugh over it when I hear it, but I still hear it to this day, unfortunately. So that's kind of where that stemmed from. Us buying drugs from him, or either or.
Yeah, and that was what my reaction was. When you could say what I am. You could say whatever you want, but to say something that I'm not. So I understand what you're saying. It gets you really fucked up. Now I got that too. I got guys because I'm being successful is breaking my chops, jumping on me. I'm a liar. I'm this. I'm that. They have nothing. They don't have a story. They have nothing to say. But I've gotten over that shit hearing them. They mean nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. That's all they know is to put people down who are successful and try and change their life and do things. And that's all they want to do is put you down or call you a liar. But I'm here to say right now on this interview, he's not a fucking liar. I know a lot about him now. And he's none of those things. And we don't have any bad blood between us. I could say I don't have no bad blood towards him or his family. And seeing the thing, my heart went out to his mother and his father and his family. I heard them. I know them. I saw them. Don't believe any bullshit you hear from other people. So hopefully this sets the record straight between me and him and my son and him and everybody else.
I think we could all agree.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever seen my father in a rave waving glow sticks, dancing in the middle of the dance floor. So I don't think that's ever happened.
No, wood feathers.
No, I really appreciate you setting the record straight, Sammy, because it has been a concern, and it did stress my mum and dad out, which is my priority. And when my mum and dad watch this, they're going to watch this. They're excited about it, and they're going to hear what you say, and that's going to really, ease that situation for them. So from
good,
that,
good.
That,
Tell them I love them. If they ever want to talk to me personally, off of things, personally on the phone or something, it'd be my pleasure. You got a great son, and you're a great family for backing him, and that's all I could say. And you want to talk to me personally at any time, or you need me for anything at any time, give me a holler. Your family.
We all make mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah, and if there's anything you need from us here across the pond, you just let me know.
What about a stack of 20s? All right, bro. I gotta go. I got other people, bro. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk again. And I like the idea I love this conversation. I think this is a conversation. If I ever get off parole, I would love to come to England and do some shows like Michael was doing with you, and I think we'll blow it away. So have
Yeah.
a great
Let's,
day, a great life. Love you, bro.
all right. Much all now. Take care, fellas. Cheers.
All
All
right.
right, bye bye.
Cheers.